Okay, welcome to tutorial 2 of our swivel caster create a spacer using an image. This picture that's in front of us, this canvas that we've created with a picture on it. So in tutorial 2 we're going to trace, well, the shape that we need for this spacer. So we'll start here. There's many ways to go about any sort of drawing, so I don't know if this is the best way, but this is the way I did it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a line. So, well, actually, before I do that, I have to start with a sketch. I'm going to create a sketch, and the sketch is going to be on this top plane. Make sure you know we have all these planes that we were looking at. I'll go 3D here so you can see them. There's the 3 planes. I'm going to be on this one that lines up with the top, so that's in line with the face of the canvas. Okay, so now I'm sketching on my plane. So the next thing I'm going to do is push L on my keyboard, and I'm drawing lines now. You can also get that up here, as you know. And I'm going to pick the center of this. I'm going to zoom in, and notice I'm getting some picking sort of references here. I'm going to try and pick the center of this screw head right here. Right. Well, there. Okay. That, I figure, is the middle of everything. So I'm going to draw straight down, make sure you're at 90 degrees. It doesn't matter how long, as long as it's like past the end of the part. And push enter to finish drawing lines, otherwise you'll draw another one. Oh, I shouldn't have pushed enter. I guess I should have pushed escape. And I'll hit delete on that. Now I'm going to draw a line using L on my keyboard. And I'm going to make sure I reference this line. You know, I snap to it using that box that you see. And I'm going to go beyond the top like that. And this time I'll be smarter and hit escape on my keyboard. Okay, so I got this line, and it's 90 degrees straight up and down through the middle of this caster plate. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to offset a line halfway out based on the width that I know of the caster. So if I head over here and I looked at this again, my caster width is down here. This is my width measurement. That was my height measurement. If I zoom in on that, and this is off the reference document that's on the website, I'm at 3, and these are 16ths. There we go. And there's a 1/4 inch, 3 1/4, plus this next 16th. So 5/16. That, oh, wait a minute. That was 3 1/2. That's 3 3/4. And one more 16th is 3 13/16 right there. 12/16 is 3 3/4. This will be 13/16. So 3 13/16. So now what I'm going to do, and that's the full width, 3 13/16 across. So I'm going to go S for shortcut. That pops up. I'm going to go O for offset. I'm going to pick this offset, and then I'm going to pick the line. I'm going to offset it. 3 space 13/16. Okay, and then I got rid of the little inch sign there. Push the divided by sign and push 2. So what I said was it's a full width of 3 13/16. Well, we're only doing half of it, so I did divided by 2 because Fusion can do the math for us. We'll push OK. It happens to be 1.906. There it is. Look, it's lined up nicely with the edge, pretty close. Okay, so I need to offset another line this way. So S for toolbox, O for offset, pick the right offset, this one. Click the line, and this time it's going negative, and I don't need to put in that fancy division because I know what the number is because I can read it right above there, 1.906 in the negative direction. Okay, so now I've got 2 vertical lines that are lined up the right distance away from the middle. Now, notice that my caster doesn't line up perfectly with these lines. See, there's a little gap down here. I'm zooming in on it. See the gap? That's totally understandable because when I took the picture, and it's lined up not perfectly here, it is lined up a little better over there. Anyway, when I took the picture, there's something called perspective on a camera where things that are closer appear wider and things that are further away appear, well, narrower. So if you're not perfectly square, which I just held this in my hand and took the picture, it's not going to turn out obviously perfectly square. So what I'm going to do is have to interpret this, and that's what I'm doing right now. I said, oh, if I put a line straight down the middle at 90 degrees, and then I create parallel lines off of that that are the right distance based on a measurement that I have, right? There's my measurement. Right distance based on the measurement, then that's right. I don't have to worry about those slight differences. Oh, let's go back to Fusion here for a second. There we go. Those slight differences. This is squared up. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing up here. I am going to create a line, and now this time I could work off the center and do the same split to get the height, because I know what the height is, but I also already set the height at the middle to be calibrated correctly. So this time all I'm going to do is create lines, and I'm going to go off this point right there and straight out, and I'm going to cross right over and make sure I'm at 90 degrees. There's a 90-degree symbol there to look at. There we go, and we'll hit escape to stop drawing lines. We'll draw another line from that point out and escape to stop drawing lines. And now I'm going to head down to the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing. L on my keyboard draws a line, grab that right there, go straight out, escape, and L on my keyboard, and I'm going to go this way. Okay, so I'm drawing lines all over this. I'll hit escape to stop drawing lines. I got to go clean this up, all these overhanging ones that are crossed. I'm going to hit my scissors up here for trimming. I'm going to trim and trim, 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 and we'll have to zoom in on this one maybe. Trim, trim, and there and there. Okay, so I trimmed it up. Just to be neat and tidy, I'm going to take the center line and I'm going to turn it into a construction line by pushing X. And I'm going to take this center line, X. So this whole, the one down the middle was just for construction purposes. The outer one is for, obviously, that's what I need for my, oh, I'm just looking to see, did I kill that? Oh, I made a mistake. Okay, I'll have to fix that. Let's see if I can just do it by pushing L and grab that corner and go down to there. Is that going to be 90? Yeah, there we go. And hit escape. I must have trimmed out the wrong one. You might have you probably saw that along the way and were telling me, but I couldn't hear you. Okay, next one. What do I want to attack first? Let's do these radius corners here, these filleted corners. So up here we'll grab our fillet tool. We'll pick the one that looks least affected by the perspective of the camera. I think this one. I'm just going to do this one down here, and I'm going to pick that line and that line. And look what it did. It's trying to create the fillet for me. Now I could move this in and out until I think it's perfect. Get it close. It seems like 0.6 there. So I'm going to hit escape and not commit to that. I'm going to try another one. Like, this one looks pretty good as far as my lines lining up. So I'm going to hit fillet. And what I'm trying to do here is trying to find the one that most accurately follows the radius in consideration that the picture's not perfect, right? I think 0.5 is going to work fine for me, so I'm just going to choose that. 0.5, enter. So it would have been smarter just to, rather than do this to 4 corners, I'll show you this now. I did it to one, I could do it to another, and then I could do it to another, the fillets all the way around, or I could choose the fillet again and just pick this, and then this, and this, and then this, and that, and look, it's done it all for me, and they're all 0.5. Now we'll hit enter. We are done. Okay, so our filleting's done. The only thing we have to do now is create these ovally bolt holes. So how are we going to do that is the next question. Well, here's another tool. If you head up under create, you've got, I could make 2 circles and then I could try and connect them and I could trim out the inside of the circles. That's one way, but I found this to be kind of useful. In here, I can make slots, and there's various ways to make slots, but this one seemed to work for me, overall slot. So basically in an overall slot, and by the way, you can read the instructions on here when you go to do it, overall slot, it tells you what to do in the little balloon window that comes out. But I think what I do, I'll zoom in on it, and I'll pick about the middle. This is kind of important. And notice the perspective you can see here. You can see the inside edge of the plate here, but you can't see it here. And that's because of how the camera is being held. I'm going to try and accurately pick the middle. It's kind of snapping for me. Then I'm going to pick the other side, which also seems to be snapping for me. And then I'm just going to stretch it out until I think I've got... Now, you're right, I could go get a ruler and measure the width of the thing, but I'm just going to work straight off the image, and I didn't measure the width when I had it, so I'm just going to pick what looks kind of good, like that. There we go. Okay, so that's drawn, and now I need to replicate that in these 4 spots. Well, I don't want to make them all different, so why don't I just mirror them? Or, sorry, copy them? Some of you might be saying this, create, I think we did this before, let's do a circular pattern. And don't do this right now, just watch. I can pick this by dragging a window around it. There, I've picked it. I can pick a center point, which is like here, and then I could pick 4 of them. And it doesn't work. And that's because this is not a symmetrical layout. It's a little weird. So that didn't work for me. I tried that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use mirroring. So I am going to go S on for my shortcuts. I'm going to go M for mirror. I'm going to pick the right mirror, which is not the one that's filled in. See, this one has triangle that's filled in. That's 3D mirroring or solid object mirroring. We want to pick this one, so pick that. Select the objects again by windowing around. There we go. Boom. So I have those objects, 14 of them selected. Select a mirror line. Well, I can use the center line. And that's over there now. So it's close. Again, it's a little messing with me because of the perspective, but I think it's close. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mirror the other way. Push OK now. Now I'll need a mirror line the other way, so I better draw one. So I'll put L. I'll pick up on the middle here. Make sure I'll zoom in to make sure I'm getting the middle. And there it is, I think. Okay, I'll just draw that line out there. I'm just going to turn it into a construction line by pushing X. And now we're going to mirror these 2 across that line. So, zooming in, pushing S on the keyboard for shortcut, M for mirror, picking the correct mirror, and then selecting, I guess I could get both at once, but okay, I'll grab that one, and then I'll run over here and grab this one. Okay, and then we'll select our mirror line, and we'll push OK. There we go. So this is what it thinks. Adjustments can be made. If we don't think we've got it, we could go back and adjust. Now, what I suggest is, and we are going to try this, we're going to take this and we're going to output it to the laser and we're going to cut it out on a template on a piece of cardboard and we're going to lay it on top of the caster and see how well you did. Okay, and you can blame me for the picture if it's not lining up very well. But we can also make a slight adjustment later. So to make anything that needs fixing fixed. What's next? Turn off the canvas for a second. Over here, eyeball. There's your work. You can see it. Pick that. Pick the center, make it blue. Push E on your keyboard. Rotate it around for the satisfaction of doing this. Make it the thickness it should be. I don't know, how thick is your plate going to be? Maybe it's going to be, as I said before, 1/4 inch. There. We now have a plate, and it wasn't that hard. Using an image to reference and trace is a fantastic way to do something really quick. You just snap a picture of it, bring it in, trace it, and you'll be surprised how close you can get. Okay, so next tutorial, we're going to make a drawing from this, and then we're going to cut it with a laser. So that's it for this tutorial. See you in the next one.